wobbly legs, and bad breath. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode. I don't know why I actually started posing like how I normally would do for a webcam, but this isn't a webcam show. There is no webcam. It's just audio. It's a full-on audio podcast. This is PT3600. My name is Ryan A.E. Moore, and the voice you heard in the very beginning was...
Ashton. What up, guys?
Yeah, man. It is... We're moving on this podcast, man.
Oh yeah, coming in hot.
Yeah. So this episode we are talking about drinking stories. Yes, the old liquid sin is the topic of this episode. So, how we're going to start this off? We're going to just talk about some stories that we have with the old liquid courage. So, Ashton, why don't you tell us the first time you got drunk?
Oh, first time I got drunk. You
Yeah.
got it. Just like it was yesterday. I mean, we all started off, well, most of us, Ryan excluded, started off with like a couple like stealing beers from their dad's, supply or whatever, going on to parties and stuff like that. But I never got drunk until I felt this feeling. I knew I was drunk because I'd never felt it before. I went out on my 21st birthday with my uncle, and we went out to this bar that's really close to us, and he had me trying out this beer called Shock Top. It's just a wheat beer.
That's actually one of my mom's favorite beers.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, she likes the orangey
orange in there.
hint. Yeah. Side note, sorry to sidetrack you here. Have you tried Bud Light's new orange?
Oh no, I hate Bud Light.
Okay, I tried it. Not bad. It's a little, it's kind of weird. It's just like you kind of like it. It was weird. Like I tried it and I was like, it's good, but I don't know if I like it. Like it was just weird. Anyway, Shock Top. Going back into
Shock Top. So essentially, throughout the whole night, keep in mind, the only thing I'd eaten that day was a bowl of pho, which is like it's just not very good if you're gonna go out and drink. It's very light. So we had something to eat. We went to the bar, and we both got a pitcher of Shock Top each. And my God, when they say breaking the seal, I knew what it meant, because when you drink so much and then you end up going to the bathroom, it's just like fucking Niagara Falls. Man, oh man. And I think I had about a glass left in my maybe a glass, a little bit over a glass more in my pitcher left, and I just went straight to the bathroom, peed real quick. So I thought, I ended up taking like the longest piss of my life, and there's this guy like standing in the urinal next to me, and he's trying to have a full-on conversation with me, and that's not something you want to do in the bathroom, standing next to a dude with his dick out. It's not. It's not really something you do.
Come here often.
He's like,
only occasionally, but
it was weird. He was like acting like he knew me or something. He was drunk out of his fucking mind. Like he was almost falling into the urinal, pissing. And he was talking to me. He was like, "Oh man, you're totally wasted." I was like, "Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good." I had not felt it yet because I was drinking it too fast.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't let it settle yet and hit me hard, so I didn't even think I was drunk at the time. I was wobbly as fuck, but I didn't think I was drunk. Obviously, that's a side effect of being drunk, not thinking that you are. And he started going on and on. He was like, "Man, and I bet you have work tomorrow too." I was like, "Nope, I don't have work." He's like, "Oh yeah, you got work." Okay.
No, you got work.
I was like, "All right, man. Well, I gotta go. See ya." And like, he was like trying to zip up his pants, and like he's trying to fix his pants up, like he was done, but he was having the toughest time. And I just left. Like it was like the strangest thing. And then get back. I finish the rest of my pitcher, and we've been here for about an hour at this point. And I go back, pee again, and this guy in the stall is like, one guy is throwing up in the toilet, and in the stall next to him, the guy is like shitting his brains out. It was pretty bizarre.
Quite a sight to see.
Usually, when you hear that, a sober person would be like, "Nope," and like walk the fuck out. Me, I was just like peeing and laughing, and like I missed the urinal a little bit because I was laughing out loud.
Oh my god!
And then wash my hands. They drive me home. And in the car, I'm like, I'm not even drunk. Like, oh my god, he's so fucking drunk. I was like, no, guys, I don't even feel it. Don't even worry about it. And then I was like, all right. I told my uncle, as he's dropping me off, all right, when you get home, get on Xbox. We're going to play some Halo. So we play a game of Halo. My god, worst game of Halo I've ever played. Found out I'm not good at video games while I'm drunk. Pool, different story, but video games, fuck, I suck real bad. So we get into our second game. And as soon as I have my first death, I say, I'll be right back. And I just fucking vomit everywhere in the bathroom. It was terrible. Terrible. I made it all in the toilet, but like I painted the toilet bowl. Like there was no white left in there. It was disgusting.
You took a hue out of the original paint.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Like it was
no longer is white anymore.
It was pretty
like a tinge.
And I like could see like the noodles of like the pho in there and everything. It was pretty gross. And I thought it had only been in there like 10 minutes. I was like, okay, I probably missed that game. So I get back in. They're like, dude, what? Are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go to bed. and that was the end of that night. But then he called me like the next day to make sure I was okay. He's like, yeah, dude, you were not gone for just one game. You were gone for like 40 minutes. So
oh my god.
I thought it was like 10 minutes, but I was in some time warp. It was actually like 40 minutes. But yeah, that was my first time going on getting drunk. And it was quite an experience. I will tell you that. Ryan, what was your first time drinking like?
I mean, okay, so I've never been drunk. I'm not really an alcoholic kind of guy. I'm not like against any of it. It's just, it's just not something that I do, and it's not something like I enjoy. I'd prefer to grab a Pepsi than opposed to trying and grabbing like, some sort like a Budweiser kind of thing. Like I just don't really find the attraction to it. But when I do drink alcohol, it was all because of the first time I drank. So the first time I had a beer was at a Seattle Mariners game, and it was my 21st birthday. Now, some people might be going, "Whoa, you waited or like you did all this." In high school, I actually sophomore year, I made it a goal for myself to wait until I was 21. This was just a self goal. I don't really remember why I did it. It wasn't like for, some youth group program or whatever. It was just, I just thought it would be cool. Like to have the first time I ever have it would be a memory. Like there would be some sort of memory attached to it. So I talked to my dad about it for my 21st birthday, and he goes, okay. So we went up there, not on my birthday, but about a week after. So I waited a little bit longer. And my dad ordered we ate at the Hit It Here Cafe, which is a designated location at the Seattle Mariners, at Safeco Field, currently called Safeco Field. And it was, he ordered a Budweiser or something like that. Something along the lines of like a standard beer. Like that's what he ordered.
Right.
And then my uncle, who is a, very well versed in the alcohol. He's not a drunk, and he's just more of like, he knows what he's doing kind of thing. Like he knows how the process of making beer, and like knows he'll have it occasionally, but not like all the time kind of thing. And usually it's a special occasion. So he gets like a dark beer. And so they're like, try ours first, and then kind of order whatever you want, because we had this like meal ticket thing, so I can order however much I want, like based on the meal ticket that I had. And so they got those for themselves, and so I tried my dad's first, and I was like, it's kind of weird. It's like water and hop. It like, you know, that taste where like that cucumber water where like you can taste the cucumber in the water. Like that's what it tasted like. It tasted like Hobbs in the water. Like it just was weird. And I was like, oh, it's not great. He's like, yeah, you know. And so my dad drank the rest of his, and then my uncle let me try some of his. And if you've never had a dark beer before, like, I don't know what the term is. What is the term called? Like amber beer? No, not amber beer. What's
blonde?
No, it was like brown.
Oh, like just a dark beer?
That's just the term for it.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So he had a dark beer, and I drank a sip out of that, and I'm like, whoa. It was bitter as hell. Like, I've never tasted something like that before. I was like, whoa.
That's the hops. Yeah.
That was a shock. And so what was on the menu was, there was Angry Orchard, and I always saw the commercials for it, and I was like, oh, what is this? And they were both like, oh, it's like a hard cider. And I'm like, oh, okay, like I'll try that. And so the waitress brings the hard cider, and I take a sip out of it. I'm like, whoa, this is some good shit right here. And so forever now, Angry Orchard is like my favorite drink. I don't believe you can get it. It's only in select areas of the United States. So like, I don't know where else you can get it. Because I don't think you can get it in California, though I've not looked hard enough. And you know, who knows, maybe I might go take a look around and maybe find it. I know that a lot of people will maybe think of Red's sparkling cider or hard cider. Red's hard cider I've had, it's not the same. It is definitely not the same. It's more alcohol than it is cider, and Angry Orchard's more cider than it is alcohol. So, but the magic of that nectar from God himself is when you get Angry Orchard on tap. It is the smoothest and coldest drink that you would ever drink. It's essentially, I don't want to like make it sound like it's not that good when I say, because for people that drink a lot of alcohol, they'll go like, sparkling cider, that's weak. Try it on tap. It goes down so smooth. It tastes like apple juice essentially. But here's the other thing is, what's wrong with apple juice? Answer that question, my friend, and then go try it, and then you will regret never having this ever before. The only places I've had it like that are who cares? I'll give a shout out to O'Blarney's. O'Blarney's, which is a local pub here in where we live, and GameWorks up in Seattle. Like, those are the only two places I know that they do it on tap. And every time I have it, it's just so fucking good.
Yeah, it's delicious. It's usually my drink of choice too. Like, I have a very small palate for like beer and whatnot. Like, it's usually Shock Top, Pyramid Hefeweizen, or Blue Moon.
I don't think I've had that other one you just said.
A Pyramid?
What was the second one you said?
It would be Pyramid. It's a Hefeweizen.
Oh yeah, what is that? What's that?
So that's like, think of it like Shock Top, but instead of orange, you put lemon in it.
Okay.
It's interesting. I do like it. I might even say I like it more than Blue Moon, which is more so the orange.
Yeah. Like Red Robin has Blue Moon on tap. Like, I've had that. But yeah, that's kind of. But yeah, so at the end of that, you know, my dad even now drinks Angry Orchard because like I bought a 6-pack one time, and I went and house sitted. I came back and it was gone, and I was like, "What happened?" He's like, "Oh, you know, sorry." I tried one. I was really thirsty, and I tried one, and then I tried another one. I was like, oh man. So he likes Angry Orchard as well. It's just so fucking good. It's just so good.
It is good. And you know, not everything is so tasty. Like, for example, I went to my one of my coworkers' retirement party.
First off, that was a fucking top transition right there.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much. Um, so at my coworker's party, his name is Kelly, just to not fucking use coworker the whole entire fucking conversation.
Yeah. Shout out to Kelly.
So he ended up not showing up to his own retirement party, which is fucked up. But our other coworker Reggie was essentially hosting it at whoever's house it was, like way out in the country, and our buddy Raymond went out and DJ'd too. So we had lights, we had music, and it got loud as fuck. Now, they did not bring a good selection of stuff to drink. You could choose between Fireball and Corona.
What a combination.
Yeah, and Reggie, shout out to that man. He's taken me to some places I have never even thought I'd ever be in. Like, this was like beyond sickness is how this ended. But I'll start off with what happened. So we get there early. Reggie cracks me open a Corona, is like, drink that. I'm like, this tastes like shit, but I'm gonna finish it anyway. So I drink it, and then after I finish it, he was like, hey, come take a shot with me. I'm like, oh, okay, no big deal. And lesson learned to never flip-flop between what you're drinking. Good God, it's a bad decision. You never mix your alcohol back and forth. It's terrible for you. Your body cannot handle it. So I take a shot of Fireball, which is, for those of you who don't drink or don't know of it, Fireball is like cinnamon. Think of it as like those cinnamon candies. So
it tastes like cinnamon candy, but the little sucker things. But the thing I have with that with Fireball, so
Christian, an angry Fireball.
No. Christian brought over Fireball, and we put it in the freezer to cool it down because it would have been in the car, and then he left like for a week and a half, and then finally Christian came back, and I'm like, dude, we forgot about the Fireball. And so he's like, okay, and so he opens it up and he takes a sip of it, and he's like, whoa, that's weird. And I'm like, what? Because see, for people that don't know, alcohol does not freeze. So It's not like soda. It doesn't, there's no carbonation in it really. Well, I mean, there is, but there's nothing in there that will have it explode in your freezer. So I take a shot of it, and that is a weird thing to do. If you ever try it, give it a shot. Like, take Angry Orchard.
It's cold but hot.
It's like it feels warm, but it's cold. It's crazy. Take Fireball, put it in the freezer, wait a couple days, like wait a day, and then take a shot of it, and it's pretty crazy. But anyway, back to your story.
It's pretty decent. Now at this point, I've already kind of committed to like just drinking, and people start filtering in, and music starts going on, and Reggie just keeps like fueling me with drinks. Like, I don't have to get up to grab one. He's trying to get me drunk.
He's trying to get you in bed? Like, what is happening there?
I don't know. So I end up flip-flopping at the end of the night. I'm getting really rowdy. People are like asking me to come dance, and I don't do anything like that. I don't dance. I don't sing. I'm very cut off when it comes to that. But here I am, 3 shots and 3 beers in, and oh my God, they have me dancing. I'm like going crazy. I like stepped on someone's foot, and they complained to me at work the next day, or the next time I saw them. She's like, "Yeah, you really bruised it up." I'm like, "That sucks. And you should have been fucking standing there then." But I know I wasn't good, but I was having fun. And when you get drunk, you don't care. Like, you don't feel shame anymore, which is kind of cool. You get to kind of come out of your bubble. And oh my God, I did. I came out of my bubble real good. I was dancing with, I don't remember her name, but
oh, that good.
no, it wasn't like that. It was a coworker. But man, I got real good. And then they had nachos. I was like fucking handfuls of nachos in my face. It was fucking great. And then after I got that last shot and the last beer in, I was like, all right, I'm gonna chill out now, and wind down, because I don't want to end up throwing up. So about 10 minutes go by. I'm like, you know what? I really got to piss real bad. So I walk over to the bathroom, and I am wobbling hardcore, like real bad. It's nothing spinning or anything like that, but oh my God, it's fucking terrible. I am stumbling. I'm like using the walls as guardrails.
You're essentially John Marston when he gets drunk.
Yes.
If you've never played Red Dead Redemption, when John Marston gets drunk, he can flat out collapse onto the floor, and then you're just like waiting for him to stand back up again.
Lean into the walls, all that. Like it was bad.
God.
So I pee. I'm like, all right, I'm feeling good. I know I'm drunk at this point, but I'm like, I'm feeling good.
I like how you stated you peed, but you didn't say you peed in the toilet.
No, I peed in the toilet, obviously.
So some of it got in there.
I pissed. And then I pulled up my pants and then immediately just vomited. Like immediately. It came out of nowhere. And I just dropped to the ground, like laid by the toilet, like some drunk ass, dumb teenage girl at the toilet, just fucking sitting there throwing up. And apparently I'd been there forever. And our buddy John, who John,
yep,
was there. He's designated driver, and I locked the door, but I couldn't get up. I couldn't muster the strength to stand up.
It was like a WWE match where you're reaching for your tag team partner, but you just can't get it. Everyone in the crowd.
I just couldn't get up, and he ended up picking the lock and like getting in, and he brought me like a water. We were the last ones to leave because I could not leave the bathroom, so like nobody got to use that bathroom for the rest of the night, unfortunately.
So everyone puked outside.
Yeah, and I was just puking there, and he literally, he was like, "All right, dude, I want to go home. All right, give me like 5 minutes." And I said that like 20 times according to him. So I was probably there for like an extra hour. And at this point, it's like 2 or 3 in the morning. And he literally had to like shoulder me. Like I had to lean up on him and like he had to walk me out into his car. Same thing with getting into my house. And then at that point, I just stayed in my bathroom. And then I vaguely remember getting to my bed and then passing out. But God, was it terrible. And I kept... John always tells me that I talk a shit ton in the car whenever I'm drunk. And he said, I just really wanted to tell you to shut the fuck up in the car because you would not shut up. You just kept saying thank you and sorry and all that. I can't handle it.
Well, speaking of hanging out, we used to have, we kind of still do every so often. We do this thing where it's essentially when I'm house sitting for my grandmother when she's not there. And I'm not saying I throw this giant like kegger type of thing. It's just more of like I don't have anything to do. Like the internet sucks. So like all I can really do is I could play my Xbox. But like, I'm also in town because where I live, I'm like farther away from where the others live because they live more in town. So I live more out in the boonies. So it's like, so when I get to house sit for my grandmother, I'm kind of closer to both Christian and Ashton. And so they'll come over and then we just like chill, and it's nothing like we're getting drunk. We just kind of just hang out. And the cool thing about, this is the reason why I do like the fact of, alcohol being used in this sort of way, because again, I'm not a guy that like drinks to get drunk. I kind of just drink to enjoy the time that we're doing. And it's like it's easier to say to somebody, it's kind of like saying, hey, let's go grab a cup of coffee, but instead you're not going to drink coffee late at night. You're usually drinking a lot of alcohol. Coffee switches to alcohol, and you're more of let's just hang out, have a couple beers, and watch Netflix. And that's literally what we do. We just literally exactly, except for without the extra fun. We've watched what movies have we've watched the Bob. No, we didn't watch Babadook.
No, ABC's of Death.
ABC is a Death. We watched ABC's of Death. I knew we watched a horror movie. Do we watch anything after that? Like on that day, the first time that we did it?
On that day, no. Okay. We watched 2 movies, and then we watched like a little bit of HBO. And,
That's right.
Yeah.
And
We
then that was a different time when we watched HBO. That was just you and me. The Christian
Oh,
one,
yeah.
when Christian was there, we just watched ABCs of Death, and then the most recent time we watched the Workaholics movie that they have on Netflix. I can't remember what it is.
Game Over, Man.
Game Over, Man. That's what it was, right? And usually that just consists of eating junk food, and it's literally a teenage girl slumber party. Like
It is.
except
It is.
they don't stay; they go home afterwards. Unless I mean, I don't really care. But as far as that situation, it's usually they just go home. But
Mhm.
yeah, it's those are fun times. It's just a fun like hangout. Let's just chill kind of thing. And
Yeah, man.
I don't know.
And that's where I got you to try a different flavor of the Angry Orchard, my favorite, Summer Honey.
Okay,
Angry
yeah,
Orchard.
yeah.
So good.
I've tried different ones. Yeah. I don't know. There's something about the classic that I just like.
The classic's good. I don't care for the green one.
No, I'm not a sour apple kind of person.
Well, it's not sour. It's just green.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, it doesn't taste like I'm drinking a Airhead, but it's like,
That would be awesome. I would totally do that.
But yeah, there is a time I usually tasted different ones of like the what was that? The Henry's one?
Henry Weinhard's
Henry
hard
Weinhard's,
soda. Yeah.
I've never
That
had
shit's good.
hard soda before.
Grape soda's on point.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, they actually just came out with a lemon lime. I don't know if I want to.
I'd be willing to try that.
You willing to try that?
Yeah. But going from after work to new work, I don't know. That wasn't a good one. But anyway, that
was terrible.
You got a new job though.
So
Tell us about that new job.
So my current job I've had almost a year now. So it was back in May of 2017. I found out that I got my new job, and I didn't know. I needed to celebrate, but I didn't know who to celebrate with, and I thought, oh shit, Christian, he likes to drink. So I called him. I'm like, dude, I am trying to celebrate tonight. I just got my new job that I totally had planned out, like my master plan that worked, which in life usually never happens. So I was super excited. So we went up to our local pub, O'Blarney's, and we started drinking. And I started off with just getting an Alaskan Amber because I hadn't had one, and it's pretty good. Not bad. I did enjoy it, finished it, and I was like, you know what? Fuck this beer shit. I'm really trying to feel like really good tonight. Like I am trying to get wasted. Like that was my goal. So then I was like, yo, Christian, you want to take some shots with me? He was like, okay, all right. And we start taking shots of tequila. That's like the beginning of a really bad story. Like anytime you hear that. And we start off with a shot each. We do the lime, we do the salt. Toss it back. I think we're just drinking Cuervo, like the gold one, just a darker, a cheap dark tequila. And we start shooting pool. And we found out that I'm excellent at pool when I'm drunk. Like I pull off some crazy ass shit that like you wouldn't believe. And he's just getting wowed by all the shots I'm making. We keep going shots.
Is this you remembering that, or
Oh, yes.
did he actually tell you at a given point in time?
I remember all these things.
Okay.
There are little details.
You're over there. You're actually just taking the pool stick and just jamming it into the pool. I'm doing it. and Christian's over there.
He's like,
yep.
yeah,
you're doing
yeah.
it. Definitely
But, like,
doing something.
Shout out to Christian though. He was being the real homie, looking out for me. No, you'll find out like how good of a, how responsible he was that night, which is pretty crazy. So I ended up start ordering like 3 shots at a time for myself, and he's just like, oh fuck, and he knew like already that this was gonna be bad. So he's like, I gotta sober the fuck up, and he told me this afterwards, like the next day. He's like, I stopped drinking when you started getting all that. I needed to make sure that I was good so that we could that way you get home alive, because I didn't bring my Oh no, I did bring my car.
Yeah,
Fuck,
you had to get
yeah.
it later.
Yeah, I had to get it later. And so here I am at the end of the night. I had a beer and I had 9 shots of tequila, or no, 8 shots of tequila. Sorry. Um, and I go back for like 2 more shots, and the bartender's like, "No, man, I can't." I'm like, "All right, that's cool." And then like, "Hey, you ready to go, man? I think they're gonna close up." And I guess that they weren't like closed yet. And they just didn't want to get served anymore.
Yeah, you officially got the no serve.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
And
that means you're visibly drunk. Like
yes. I remember specifically how bad, like it's real bad, like when you can remember the next day that you were actually slurring your words real bad when you don't notice that when you are drunk. But when you remember yourself slurring, that's bad. And I know I was slurring really bad. It took me, I tried really hard to get that sentence out. Like I was like, I need 2 shots of the tequila. It was like
of the tequila.
Yeah, it was like, yeah,
Find
man.
him, give him to me.
He's like, yeah, man. No, we're gonna be closing up soon. I'm like, oh, okay, thanks. And I wobbled back to my table, and we have this 24-hour diner next to us, Sherry's. They have great pies, by the way, great shakes.
Sherry's is a national thing. Maybe not.
No, they're pretty widespread though.
I want to know that question. Keep going. I'm just gonna look up Sherry's.
Yeah, go ahead and check it out. And with that, with walking over to Sherry's, we're just walking. Everything's fine. I'm not wobbling so much, and I feel like energized. Which happens when I drink. I feel energized. I don't get drowsy. He told me the next day, he was thinking, at that moment, he was like, oh, okay, we're going to be fine. He's good. He drank a lot. I don't know how he's walking like this right now. I don't know how he's doing so well. And we sit down, we order food, and like, we start looking at the menu. And then I start slurring my words again, because the rest of the alcohol's hitting me. Because I took the shots really quick. This was within an hour and a half that I drank
Side
all
note, I looked up Sherry's restaurant. We'll get back to your thing before we start leaving Sherry's. So this is just for like binging Sherry's restaurant, and then there's like a little clip it here. Sherry's, a cafe and pie originally known as Sherry's Restaurant, is a chain of family dining restaurants in the western United States, open 24 hours, 365. Franchise original is in Oregon. And they have 95 locations of Oregon, Washington, California, Idaho, Nebraska, and Wyoming.
Cool.
So there you go. We're not sponsored by Sherry's, though not against that.
Not against it. Hook us up,
but,
man.
Yeah, so anyway, back to our regular scheduled program.
Back to the story. So we're sitting down, we're ordering food, and then I start like talking out loud. Like I'm basically vomiting out my thoughts.
Not literally.
Yeah, not literally yet. So I started looking at the menu, and Christian does have footage of me doing this, but
yes, he does.
Private use only.
I was almost tempted to text him back, text him to get these videos, but I was like, nah, I won't have it.
No,
visibly drunk on camera.
No thanks. Private use only. It was bad. So I ended up saying what I wanted really slow. Like, I think it was like Sherry Sampler. That's what I want. And I said it was like 2,000 calories rounded up, because it wasn't quite 2,000 calories. I was like trying to pretend as if I was being real smart and like I was with it. And then it was obviously drunk. And I had my head down while we were waiting for the food. Christian was trying to like get me with it. He was like, all right, we got to get some food in you. And he was like, come on, man, you got to start eating. And we had the food in front, and I'm not eating yet. I'm like, all right, man, just hold on. And he's like, no, man, you gotta eat. And he like gets my fork and like stabs a sausage and puts it in my mouth.
Oh, you got the old Christian sausage there, huh?
He put his
a
meat
real nice bite out of it.
I took a small bite and then spit it out, and I said, I gotta go. And he was like, oh God. And he like gets up and like kind of, I'm struggling real bad standing up. So he's literally walking me over there. And
what do the Sherry's employees think of this scenario?
Oh, was dead at this point, and they kind of come into play afterwards.
Oh, okay. Because I haven't heard this part of the story. I only see the part leading up to the video, and then I get cut to the end of the night. So, like, this is all new information for me.
So it gets to a point where we're getting past the cashier to like go into the bathroom, and there's little, those little waste bins that you see at like cashier desks or whatever. I reach down and grab it, like I'm reaching for it. He's like, no, man, no, we gotta keep going, because he thinks they're gonna like just stop and puke.
Yeah.
I grab it, and I bring it with me to the bathroom because I didn't want to make a mess anywhere because I'm so considerate. And get in the bathroom, and I hand him the wastebasket because I didn't throw up in it, and then I just start fucking vomiting, like very furiously, like into the fucking toilet. It was bad.
Oh my God.
He's out. Meanwhile, he's texting his girlfriend and like on Snapchat and like, this is what I'm doing tonight, and it's like me vomiting into the toilet.
I haven't seen that. I didn't get to see that video.
But you can ask him for it, and
does he still have it?
He probably does.
Okay.
That's a memorable moment. And meanwhile, he goes out and he's like, hey, yeah, we gotta go. And she's like, oh yeah, I saw that you guys like left. I thought you guys just like dipped out, like the food was bad or something. He's like, no, the food was good, but we're gonna need some boxes. He's just really sick. She's like, oh, okay,
yeah, really sick.
And he's like, all right, man, we gotta go. Our Uber's here. I'm like, all right. And I start like hyping myself up. I'm like, all right, man, we got this. We're gonna get in the Uber and we're gonna go home, and it's gonna be great. And we get in the Uber, and immediately I'm like, hey, can I roll the window down? And he's like, yeah, sure, man, no problem. The Uber driver's real nice, and real nice car, leather seats. It was fucking great. It smelled new in there. It was pretty cool. Side note.
Don't tell me you threw up in his car.
I did.
Oh my God.
but Christian thought ahead, and as soon as I rolled the window down, he knew I was. And he was like, dude, you got any barf bags? And he's like, yeah, of course, right there. And he's like, thanks, man. And I just start throwing up in the barf bag. And we get to my place, and Christian was like, all right, are you able to wait here and take me home? Because I just got to walk him to the door, make sure he gets there okay. He's like, yeah, no problem. And we get out, we stumble all the way to my fucking door, and I'm trying real hard with the keys, and I'm like, oh, I can't do this. And I still have the barf bag in my hand, and I turn around to Christian, I'm like, hey, can you hold this for a second? He's like, oh,
keep this in a safe place. Cherish it with your life.
He's like, oh, sure. And I'm like, thanks.
For me?
He's like, oh, I was like, thanks, man. And I get the door open, and I open it. I'm like, all right, man. Well, thanks. You have a good night.
Leaving him on the doorstep with a bag of vomit.
Yeah.
What an asshole.
I didn't even think about it. Like, he was like, oh, yeah.
Can you imagine Christian just standing there on your front porch with a bag of vomit, and he's like looking at it, debating on what he needs to do? And he's
it was pretty good. It was pretty
I can leave it here.
So I just locked the door after that. And I just
so now he really has no choice but to take it back with him to the Uber. Did he ever tell you what he did with it?
Yeah, he ended up throwing it in my garbage can outside.
Oh, thank God it was out there. Well, I don't even know what you would be doing with it, because then you'd have to what do? Do you just leave it on your doorstep?
It's so hilarious. And I just go to the bathroom and I stay up all night throwing up. It's like 5 a.m. and my girlfriend Sky wakes up and she's like, "Yo, what the fuck are you doing?" I'm like, "What? I threw up." And she's like, "Yeah, you're supposed to take me on a Seattle trip today." I'm like, "Oh, um, we can still go on the trip. I just gotta take a nap first." And she refused to drive. She has this weird like anxiety about driving on the freeway, which she's getting better with, but she refused to drive because she was pissed and she wanted to punish me. So I ended up driving the next day, like 6 hours after she comes and like gets me out of the bathroom. And we stopped in what was it? Lakewood. There was like a mall, and I was like, I gotta stop. I gotta nap.
Yeah, that's Lakewood. Yeah.
And she was pissed, and she went off and walked around the mall. Came back. We drove a little bit further, and I just couldn't make it all the way there. And she will never let me forget that story about how I ruined our Seattle trip.
What were you? Or did you have something specifically planned for that day, or is it just like
yeah,
in general you were going to?
We were just gonna go there for the day and hang out, and go out to eat.
I mean, you
have
can
like a little
date. Oh, but it's just a day, like
yeah. It was like a day we had planned for a while.
She felt that it was more important than what you felt that it was.
Well, I knew it was important, but at the time
Okay.
I was so like excited that I forgot. And then I got really drunk and then it was too late.
So to this day she doesn't let you live it down?
No, never.
Has she ever brought it up ever since then?
Oh yeah, of course.
They always mind giving an example.
I was like, "Hey man, if she comes home and she's being, in a mood or whatever, she doesn't bring it up really anymore, but I was like, come on, man, you're really ruining my day." She's like, "Oh, how you ruined our Seattle day?"
Oh,
like,
just throws it in your face.
You bitch. You got me on that
one. Well, speaking of driving up somewhere, we went to Mount Rainier as a kind of a group.
This was fun.
And I mean, it was originally, there was like another plan, and then it just eventually just came down to, this seems okay, and then we just did that. But Christian brought alcohol. He was very determined to do that.
I did that, actually. I bought all of it.
You did all of it?
I bought all of it.
Okay, then he must have picked them out.
He picked out his hard alcohol. I picked out Angry Orchard.
But okay, so instead of the buying not in there, leading up to the event, Christian was very adamant in bringing alcohol. And Jose and I don't drink. And I think was this the trip that oh my god. Wait, hold on. Give me a second.
It was 4 of us.
Who was
and Tony.
And Tony, that's right. I was like, there was someone else there. Tony was there, which was even weirder. And I don't know if we should admit to the fact of how old Tony is. He did not drink. He did not drink. Publicly stated, he did not drink.
No. People drinking from other kids all the time.
Exactly. And so anyway, so Jose and I don't. Jose is about as much of a drinker as I am, and he's a little bit less than that. Like,
well, he tries to say like he does, but
he doesn't. He talks like it, but that's about everything, though.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jose. So anyway, we go up there, and we're gonna have this like barbecue type thing. So we have like a chest of hamburgers and some cheese, and so we go to Mount Rainier. By the way, I have no idea. We forgot tinfoil.
Yeah.
So we are cooking. Here is for those germaphobes where you just start to freak out a little bit. We cooked our burgers on a semi-clean grill in a public national park that was probably been used several years, decades in before us. And we cooked them right there and then. I didn't get sick from it.
No, I didn't. They were probably one of the best damn burgers I've ever had.
Yeah, Jose was cooking it, and and then the alcohol started to be brought out, Christian was very into the fact that he's about to down Jack Daniels. He drank the whole damn bottle.
No, he did not.
Yes, he did. He at least
No,
half
he did
of
not.
it.
No,
At least
he
half
only
of
had
it.
no. He only had a red Solo cup.
Really? Because it seemed like he drank a lot.
A red Solo cup filled with that is quite a bit.
Of Jack Daniels. That's right.
Yeah.
And like a full brim. I remember him drinking a lot of it. I don't remember.
It was up to the line.
Jeez. On the top line.
Yeah, the top line.
So where you would normally pour a cup of milk, like that's where he had
he filled it with
Jack
JD.
Daniels.
Yeah.
And geez Louise, because that was when he was on his like G-Eazy kick. So G-Eazy, rapper known for drinking Jack Daniels, him thinking, hey, I'm gonna do that too. So he did. Christian got faded fast because at this current moment in Washington hot weather is pretty decently hot, and it's very uncommon. So when you're out there and it's like 77 degrees, it was pretty damn hot for Washingtonians.
It was in the 80s.
It might have
80s.
been. But for Washingtonians, because people in Idaho and California are going, no. For Washington people, that's really hot. And we are not by rivers. We're not by anything. We're in the woods. And so, there's no like trees around us. There's like a designated area for us to cook, but there's no like shade. So it's just heat. And so Christian got gone fast. Like he was out, not passing out, but he was not his self. And then you brought Angry Orchard specifically because I requested it.
I brought a variety pack.
Yeah.
It was like a 24.
That's where we found some that we did not like.
Yeah. And I think I had like 5 of those, and I tried a shot of his JD, which is pretty good. But and I got a little buzzed.
Yeah. I feel like I didn't feel like I did. Jose will not let me live it down of the fact that I was because of the car banter that we had in the car. But I was like, I'm fine. Like I'm not like different from what I was. You were I was probably about 2 notches away from Christian if you would have kept going.
Yeah.
And then Christian was just he like passed out in the car eventually.
He was singing.
Yes, he was. Eventually he started singing in the car. When we got in the car, that was when the fun really started to happen, because that's when everyone was starting to be like goofy. And then you got really funny because you were like loosey goosey.
Yeah.
So, and then I don't know who started the Boston accent. Was it me or you?
It was me.
Okay. And then I think you accidentally talked in a Boston accent, and then I made fun of you. And then we just kept going with the bit for some weird reason. We had this
forever,
Boston,
like,
and then it just kept
all the way
building
home.
on itself.
It's like an hour.
Like, we had this like, oh yeah, you gotta go. Yeah, you remember down on 4th? You remember 4th Avenue? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, get the fuck out of here. Like, you know, it's like.
And I'd like see people on the street and be like, "What the fuck are you doing, huh?"
Hey, get the fuck out the way. Hey, look at this asshole. Like, what? Like, you just have these. Weird one-lining thing. We did it from Mount Rainier all the way to Olympia, which is about an hour. Like,
yeah, it's pretty good time.
Yeah. But one thing I really remember is there were a lot of bees. There was a lot of bees in our area, and I don't know why we kept being there. There had to have been a hornet's nest like around somewhere, but it just was. Yeah, there was a lot of bees around our area, but eventually it all got finished and said and done. So, I guess that leaves the last story. This is the last one.
Nope. No, I got one. I got 2 more.
No, but we got only time for one more.
What? We only got time for one more? How much time we got left?
We're at the 48-minute mark.
Oh, okay. Well, I can make this one short.
Okay, all right.
So
go ahead. You got 10 minutes.
This last Christmas, I was finally introduced to rum and eggnog at my uncle's. That shit is fucking smooth as fuck. Downed like 3 of those, and then I started taking shots of rum and shots of vodka. My uncle has this awesome like Seahawk themed pool table that he bought. and he is really, really like on people about fucking up his table.
Oh,
so
no.
we were playing, and I like shot a ball off onto his new flooring that he just put in, and put a little tiny dent in his floor.
Is it
That's
still
like,
there to this day?
yeah, but he has a new house now. And
so it doesn't matter. So the other
so-
people got to deal with it.
so yeah, not his problem. And he got fucking pissed. I was not allowed to play pool for the rest of the night. And my girlfriend had to drive me home.
Sit down.
My girlfriend had to drive me home. And apparently I get super fucking nice when I'm drunk. Like, to everybody. Like, when I'm really drunk, I'm super nice, like, overly. And this guy gets, like, every compliment I have in my arse all the time. I don't get, like, handsy per se, but, like, I really feel the connection. Like, I'm feeling the
Are you
chemistry.
pitching tense in there, or like what's going on?
Oh, dude, I don't even notice. Like,
Oh my god.
I probably could be, and I just am not paying attention. Knowing me, I wouldn't probably have a problem with that.
I think that new job story would have had a different ending to it if you.
Oh, God.
Anyway,
That was kind of a little snippet of like how else I can be, like, instead of just crazy throwing up. Before the throwing up part, I get really nice and give all these compliments and shit like that. Everybody gets compliments. Everybody feels good when they hang out with me when I'm drunk.
mm-hmm.
But to another not so feel good moment in my life, back to Reggie.
Oh my god.
He hosted my 22nd birthday party at his house. And he did all the cooking. Great cook. And his wife is a good cook too. He has like his garage is decked out for parties. Literally, his garage is for parties. And he has like 2 refrigerators in there, one for beer, one for hard alcohol. And he has like table set up. He has lights in there. He has speakers, so that way his buddy Raymond can DJ. And I get there first. He starts me on some Royal Crown with Pepsi. I have like 2 of those. Feeling pretty good. Everyone starts showing up. And then I get into, what was it? I start drinking. Yeah, that's right. My buddy Josh brings absinthe, and absinthe is very, very strong alcohol. Used to be like old urban myth is that it would make you hallucinate due to something found in it. It's called the Green Fairy, but it's not ever been found to be true. But it's real good absinthe, and what he did, he would dip a sugar cube in there, bring it back up in a spoon or a fork, light it on fire, let it caramelize the sugar, and then you drop it in, you mix it in, and you sip on it all night. It basically tastes like black licorice. I drink like a glass of that, and that is very strong shit. That's like, I think it was like 100 proof.
Oh,
it was real good. And I drank it all, and then Reggie comes around and he's like, "Oh, all right, everybody showed up now. Everybody take shots with me." So then I start having shots of tequila and Royal Crown, and he just keeps feeling me. And eventually, I stopped drinking because, like, oh, I don't want to throw up at this party. I don't want to throw up again.
Yeah.
So I found my nice stopping point, but then my drunkenness kept going because my body was still trying to process it. And good God, he had me getting up. I was dancing, and at the end of the night, my buddy Eric, who was also carpooling with me, because John was designated driver again because he can't drink, and he got real fucked up. Like, he got.
Are you gonna throw Eric under the bus in this
Oh
story?
yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, all right. I'll make sure I let him know. Let him know.
It's a great story, and we end up going in to go cut my cake, which Reggie has a video of me drunk.
That was the first time I talked with Reggie, was he showed me this video.
my ice cream cake, which was like frozen solid, so it was so hard to cut.
Oh my god! It looked like your wrist was broken trying to cut that thing.
I guess I like full on stabbed it basically, trying to cut it. Like I was killing an animal.
It's more of like shanking an animal, but yeah.
And I finally get a piece, pretty good guess cake. And then I go back into the dance room and Eric's doing karaoke and he's like, Ashton, come on, man, we gotta sing. And he's singing some like 80s shit. I'm like, dude, I can get down with some 80s shit. So we start doing some karaoke. And then everyone was like, all right, you guys gotta like chill the fuck out. And we end up leaving. And him and I are like just hanging out, having waiting for John to get out of the bathroom. And then the lawn was wet. We were trying to leave.
Oh my god.
And I fell, and then I slipped and fell, and then Eric was like, oh my god, buddy, I got you. And he's like, I got you, man. And he like lifted me up off the ground and like basically threw me in the car. And John was like, Eric, what are you doing? He's like in the driver's seat, and like Eric opens up the trunk. And he's like, John's like, Eric, shut the fucking trunk and get in the car. He's like, I'm getting in the trunk.
It's like a Three Stooges episode.
He's like, no man, I'm just getting to put in the trunk. He's like, there's nothing to put in the trunk. Just get in the car. And then
he gets in the trunk. No.
And then he finally gets in the car, and we're laughing about it like the whole way to his house. Because we're dropping Eric off first. And I'm like, John, I understand this is a bad idea, but I just feel it would be super legendary for me being really drunk to get more drunk Eric into his house okay instead of you. That way you can live to tell the story from a third-person perspective.
Oh my god.
And he's like, you're right, that's a terrible idea. Let's do it. Let's watch you dumbasses end up in the hospital. I'm fine with that. So he's sitting in the car watching us struggle, and he's a little heavier than me. Like he's not like a big guy, but I'm pretty skinny.
He's a solid guy,
yeah,
as opposed to a person that's a twig.
He's a pretty solid dude, and oh my god, I'm like flinging around this weight because he's leaning on me and then stumbling and trying to not do it at the same time. So we're just swerving all around the lawn trying to get to his door. And before we
by the way, I don't mean to interrupt, but you do need to kind of wrap it up. Just
I know,
a little
that's
bit.
fine.
Just a little
that's
bit.
fine.
Yeah, you're almost at the end of the story, I know, but let's go. We gotta wrap it up.
All right, man. All right. And he vomits on like at the doorstep.
Oh,
and then we finally get the door open, and he like flings it open, like it smacks into the wall and bounces back a little bit. And I'm like, "You all right, man?" He's like, "Yeah, man, I'm good." And he starts like walking up the stairs, and as he's walking, he's vomiting up the stairs. And I'm like, "Oh, that's bad. I gotta make sure he's okay." And I'm like, and he disappears like at the top of the stairs. I'm like, Eric, and he like left his door wide open.
Yeah, apparently he vomited up the like the next morning his girl had to clean up the vomit.
Yeah, she cleaned it all up, and she wasn't even mad. What a wonderful woman.
But yeah, go ahead.
And so I go up, and I'm like, oh my god. And then I start walking the stairs to make sure he gets to the bathroom okay, because I don't want to fucking hit his head, end up in the hospital. And he just flings the door open and like leans back, and he does the Butters pee from South Park, lifts his shirt up, no hand piece. Into the toilet. I'm like, okay, I gotta go. So so I left, and then that was the end of that day.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna be it for this episode. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you definitely check out everything that we do here on Primal Target. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you definitely check out the links in the description below. This is an audio version. This is a video version of the podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, there is an audio version over on iTunes as well as Podbean for Android listeners. And Yeah, that's going to be it. You can find me at Ryan E. Moore on all social media. Ashton, where can we follow you at?
You can follow me on Twitter at Ashton_Stom.
Yep. And that's going to be it. That is the end of drinking stories. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you comment what your drinking stories are, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Goodbye, everybody.
Peace out.
Hey guys, it's Ryan again. Thanks so much for checking out PT3600. If you guys want to listen to the full official song of PT3600, it's Every Night by Between Giants featuring Violet Heart. Between Giants is a good buddy of mine, Tyler Burkage, and he is amazing. You can listen to him on SoundCloud and Spotify right now. He's got tons of other great tracks for you to listen to over there. For YouTube listeners, links are provided in the description below. Thanks once again to Between Giants, and also thanks to you for listening.